What's going on, Kyle Murray from FTN Daily, back again with the Prize Picks Prop Show here, bringing you some of my favorite plays for the NBA streets here. Tuesday, January 31st, got 3 picks for you guys today. Maybe a fourth one here at the end. I am kind of on the fence on a fourth one there. Maybe I'll throw that one out there at the end just for fun there. But I have 3 picks I really like so far. And then obviously Tuesday is going to be the Taco Tuesday promo. So I want to remind you about that. I wouldn't really, I would probably wait on these picks and wait for those taco promos to come out unless you have the thought of doing 3+ prize fix plays today and you want to stagger them throughout the day. But there should be 3 tacos with obviously pretty significant discounts coming up later. So keep that in mind as well. But before we get started, if you're a new user at PrizePicks, head over there, use that code FTN, get yourself a 100% match up to $100, and get that bankroll started over there. Like I said, I got 3 picks. Let me know who you are taking in your picks in the comments below. Curious where you guys are looking for this Tuesday slate. You got 5 games. The NBA has done a much better job at balancing out the schedule, giving us more games than just 2 or 3 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So thankful for that. But let's get into the picks here. First one, we're going to go to Darius Garland here. We're taking his over on his assists. Over 7 assists is where PrizePicks has set his line at. He's actually at 7.5 on a lot of sports books here. So pretty significant edge. But when you look at his recent production, he has gone over this number consistently. And based on just looking at some of the Cleveland lines, PrizePicks is way down on overall Cleveland production from this game, and I understand it is a pretty difficult matchup here against Miami. They rank inside the top 3 in defensive efficiency. They rank 23rd in pace, and Cleveland, they do the same thing. They play slow and they play really good defense. Both teams top 3 in defense while ranking bottom 7 in pace. So I get it. It is going to be a pretty ugly game here, an ugly game environment for production, but Darius Garland has been pretty consistent here with his assist production. Like I mentioned, over his last 10 games, 9.7 assists. I know a lot of that was with Donovan Mitchell out. However, when you look at the on-off splits here with Darius Garland, his assist numbers don't move on a permanent basis with Donovan Mitchell off the floor. So not really worried about his potential assist output being decreased with Donovan Mitchell being back on. And if anything, it's another scorer on the floor that could allow him some more potential assist opportunities. My model has him just shy of 9 assists tonight. So going to be taking Darius Garland over 7 assists here. And like I mentioned, this is a number that's probably going to go up. I would not be surprised if it was at 7.5 or something by the time that game actually rolls around or by the time the taco promos roll out. But still 7.5 is a number that I'm also fine with. So yeah, taking that as pick number 1. Darius Garland over 7 assists. Now, I'm going to stay in this game. Like I mentioned, this game is kind of being essentially just kind of ran down in terms of the overall projections and in terms of overall sports book markets and where they're placing their lines because of the low total. And I understand that 100%. However, I think that, for the Darius Garland number, I think they went a little bit too far with that one on PrizePicks with the 7 assists. And then also with this guy here, Evan Mobley, his point number is at 13.5. Now, again, when you're looking at recent data and recent samples, a lot of that is without Donovan Mitchell. However, over his last 10 games, averaging a whopping 19.3, last 5, 20.6, and he scored 15 points already against Miami in a couple of games this season. Now, the reason why this is interesting is because the point prop actually comes out at 13.5 tonight. It's a very, very low number here. His rebound prop, 8.5, 9.5, kind of depending on where you look. It's at 8.5 on PrizePicks. So I'm going to take the over on both of those, take the over on his points plus rebounds here for Evan Mobley. So like I mentioned, a lot of good recent form for Mobley, and a lot of that is due to the fact that we saw Donovan Mitchell out, so good recent scoring opportunities for him. But in terms of rebounding, he's been consistent. Donovan Mitchell being off the floor is not going to affect any of that. We know that for sure. Over his last 10 games, averaging over 9 rebounds and averaging 10 rebounds per game against this Miami team. And this is actually a pretty good matchup for rebounders. Miami, they rank 22nd in defensive rebounds allowed. So overall, not the greatest matchup from an offense perspective, but should be just fine in terms of a rebounding perspective. And then on the offensive side of things for this line for Mobley, I simply think 13.5 is just too low. And Miami's actually been pretty poor against the three-point shooters this year, and Mobley can definitely step out and hit some threes. Miami ranks 27th against opposing teams in terms of 3 points. 3-pointers allowed, and 24th in terms of 3-point percentage allowed. So Evan Mobley over 22.5 points plus rebounds. Could easily see like a 15-10 night and get it done pretty easily for Evan Mobley there. So that is pick number 2. And like I mentioned, like both of those two picks, even though they're in a game that's fairly lackluster, but again, I just think we can count on that consistent production from those guys, even though it's not necessarily the sexiest game environment from that one, to say the least, with a 210 total. Now let's move on from that game, go to a different one here. We're going to go Terry Rozier. We're looking at his overs on some of his three-pointers. Threes made is going to be the final pick of the video. And I guess I will throw out that fourth one that I was sort of teasing. It was actually LaMelo Ball under. Obviously, for these elite players and guys who I obviously over the course of his career so far for LaMelo Ball, I've definitely bet overs much more often than unders for LaMelo Ball. But it's a spot where I am leaning the under here. 23.5 is where the line is on his points total. He did score 24 against Milwaukee earlier this month on the 6th. However, 3 straight games under 20 points there for LaMelo Ball. Very difficult matchup. Milwaukee ranks 7th in points allowed, 4th in field goal percentage allowed, 10th in three-pointers allowed, and 8th in three-point percentage allowed. So very good defense, obviously, for Milwaukee. And then you also look at the spread there. 12-point spread for this game. So it could easily turn into a blowout where we see maybe a few less minutes there for LaMelo Ball. But those are it for my picks. Just to recap, we have Darius Garland over 7 assists, Evan Mobley over 22.5 points plus rebounds, and finally, Terry Rozier over 2.5 threes. And if you're looking for an extra one, obviously, I do recommend doing 5 or 6 plays there in the parlays. LaMelo Ball under 23.5 points would be the fourth one. But again, highly recommend checking out the tacos, see as they roll out. And as always, it's very key in NBA, especially NBA, to make sure you're checking updated lines, updated projections. So head over to FTN Daily, get in our Discord, our PrizePicks channel, constantly in there. Plenty of guys are constantly there, always throwing picks in there and obviously discussing the games and stuff, but also our PrizePicks Edge tool, which updates every single day, every single minute for new projections, new lines, all that good stuff. So do not miss out on that, which is free every single day. So head over there, ftndaily.com, check out the PrizePicks NBA projection edge tool. And as always, check out the pick tracker, also free, covering several different sports. Obviously, NBA is going to be the big one right now during the week, but during the weekends we have PGA and NFL content in there as well. And obviously Super Bowl's coming up right around the corner, so we're gonna have tons of content for that. So please like, subscribe, stay updated there with the notification bell over on YouTube. Helps us out a lot and helps you guys stay up to date with the next video. I'll be back tomorrow with, it's going to be TBD on the content of the video, but I will be back tomorrow with either a PGA video or an NFL Super Bowl first look video. So stay tuned for that. Stay updated for that. Obviously, you can find all those updates on Twitter, and obviously you can stay up to date on the YouTube channel. But it's going to do it for me. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, good luck, everybody.